today we are going to learn about the basics of computers. So, from the introduction of the first computer in the early 1800s through the many types of portable and handheld computers available now, the evolution of computers continues to this day. The earliest computing devices focused on making calculations easier and quicker. The abacus, which is a counting board with beads or disc that can be moved to track numbers, is an early predecessor to the modern computer. The abacus has been used for calculations since 1100 BC. An abacus is a portable counting device that was introduced to keep tallies for merchants who need to manage their inventory of traded goods. Technology continued to progress when the circular and rectangular slide rules were invented by mathematician William Oughtred in 1632 and 1620, respectively. The slide rule, built on the invention of logarithms by John Napier, helped make performing calculations easier. Whilst these technologies were important in the development of computers, when considering who invented computers, it is essential to learn about Charles Babbage. Starting in 1830, Babbage, who is an English mathematician, began designing an analytical engine that could be programmed to perform calculations using punched cards. Babbage is sometimes considered the father of computers since most computers today use basic ideas that he pioneered. So computers are the forefront of advancement in modern society. Without devices such as computers and automated equipment, many modern processes would not be able to take place. And similarly, many individuals would be at a disadvantage for not utilizing these important machines to conduct regular tasks as part of their job or for leisure. And so by the end of today's session, we should be able to understand the basic things about computers and also understand what computer operating system is and how it works. We should also be able to keep our computer safe and secure, and then download and use Microsoft Office products. So today's session is going to be a bit interactive, more than the past weeks, because I'm going to be calling on you to share your ideas much often. So to start with, I would like to hear from you. We all have been using computers. From the beginning of this session, I told you that the mobile device that you are using is also a computer. So I ask you, what is a computer? A computer is an electronic device that receives data inputs such as numbers, text, or images and uses a set of instructions to process and transform it into meaningful information under different formats as output. In other words, a computer is an electronic device that manipulates information or data. It has the ability to store, retrieve, and process data. You can use a computer to type documents, send emails, play games, and browse the web. You can also use it to edit or create spreadsheets, presentations, and even videos. So before we talk about the different types of computers, let's talk about two things all computers have in common, which is the hardware and the software. So these are the elements that make a computer system work. And as indicated, they are categorized into two groups called hardware and software. And is the hardware. Hardware, the computer hardware refers to the physical elements, the machinery of the computer itself. or the external computer equipment. So the hardwares are those things that are physical, which we can see and touch, like the keyboard, the monitor, the mouse, the system unit, and all the other parts of the computer that we can touch. They are the hardware. So in this picture, uh, are some of the things that can be classified under the computer hardware. So we can see the computer case. Inside of this are some wires which supplies power. We also have the DVD room, the main board, CPU. All these things constitute the hardware. The keyboard also, the mouse, speakers, monitor, they all constitute computer hardware. We also have the software. So the software also represents the non-physical component, the instructions that tell a computer what to do. It allows us to speak to the computer without knowing the computer language. The most important blocks that form the software of a computer are the operating systems. In other words, I can say that software is the written machine-readable instructions or programs that tell physical components what to do and when to execute the instructions. It is any set of instructions that tells the hardware what to do and how to do it. Examples of software include web browsers, which we spoke about the past weekend. We said web browsers include Google Chrome and the others. So we can also talk about games and word processors. All these form part of the computer software. So everything you do on your computer will rely on both hardware and the software. So the hardware and software are strongly interconnected. Without software, the hardware of a computer would have no function. And without the hardware needed to perform the task instructed by the software too would be useless. So that is how those two are interconnected and function together. So hardware components must have certain characteristics to allow the software to function well. And these components of a computer system interact with each other to perform specific tasks. So to understand them, it is important to understand the entire process as they depend on each other to function correctly. So typically, this interconnection is represented in layers, and the highest layer of the computer system is the software applications, which is the programs we typically use that enable us to interact with the computer. And below that is the layer we find the operating system. So this acts as a translator between applications and hardware so they understand each other. And the lowest is where we find the hardware. So all the devices that we can physically touch, as indicated earlier, are the hardware. Let's also talk about the type of computers before we go to the operating system. So when most people hear the word computer, they think of a personal computer such as desktop or laptop. However, computers come in many shapes and sizes, and they perform many different functions in our daily lives. For example, when you withdraw cash from an ATM or you scan groceries at the store, like the way they do it at malls, say Melcom, when you buy something, you go to pay, they scan it before you pay. So we also use calculators, and all these things constitute a type of computer in one way or the other. So we have the desktop computers, laptops, tablets, servers, and other types of computers also include smartphones, wearables, game consoles, and TV. So, what is a desktop computer? Now, many people use desktop computers at work, home, and school. Desktop computers are designed for regular use at a stationary location on top of a desk, just as the name says. And they are typically made up of a few different parts, including the computer case, the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse. That is it, a picture of it displayed here. So this is the computer case, that's the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse. So desktop computers are designed for regular use at a stationary location. It houses the physical hardware that makes a computer run and connects to input devices such as the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse that users interact with. So the name describes it all. Desktop computers, we put it on a desktop because it cannot stand alone on its own, and you cannot put it on your lap too, like what we do with laptop. It has to be placed on a desktop. So the name describes it. We also have laptop computers. So the second type of computer you may be familiar with is a laptop computer, commonly called a laptop. So laptops are battery-powered computers that are more portable than desktops, allowing you to use them almost anywhere. Most laptops are designed to have all the functionality of a desktop computer, which means they can generally run the same software and even open the same types of files. The most significant difference between desktop and laptop is that in a desktop, the different components of the computer are connected together through cables, while in a laptop, all the components are assembled in a single unit. However, laptops generally tend to be more expensive than a desktop computer with the same internal components. So while you may find that some basic laptops cost less than desktop computers, these are usually much less powerful machines. You see, in the on the market, you may find some laptops 500, 600. Some even sell them 300 cities, but I mean, I can say that they wouldn't serve the purpose. Okay, you cannot compare it to the standard laptop, which I can say is a bit expensive, ranging from 2,000 going. So when you find those laptops that they sell 300, 250, 400, I mean, don't rush to go in for it because it may not be able to serve the purpose that you need it for. So these are the parts of a laptop that differentiates it from the desktop computer. So the laptop is so portable that you can take it anywhere. You can place it on your lap to work, which is why we call it laptop, because you can work with it comfortably while it's placed on your lap. The laptop has its own camera. For instance, this training that we are doing, if I enable my video, you will see me. And I'm not using any different camera to do that. The laptop itself has its camera, and it also has its own keyboard, unlike the desktop where there's a separate keyboard connected to uh, the computer through some wires. The laptop isn't like that. I'm sure we've all seen a laptop before, and it also comes with its own mouse. So this is where the mouse is. This pad is a touch pad. So when you touch it, whatever that you need a mouse to do, you can use this particular pad to do that. And it also has optical drive. If you find some movie or music out there, video that that is on a disk drive that you want to watch, you can insert it on this part, and then it will work for you. And then here is the screen, then the top panel. So that is a laptop, which is also a computer. So let's move to tablet computers too. So tablet computers, or simply put, tablets, are handheld computers that are even more portable than laptops. So instead of a keyboard and mouse, tablets use a touch sensitive screen for typing and navigation. So example of a tablet is we have the iPad and the likes. So this is how a tablet computer looks like, a bit smaller than uh, our usual phones that we've been using every day, and it's also a type of computer. So examples of tablets, we have the Apple's iPad, Google's Pixel C, Samsung's Galaxy Tab S2, Microsoft's Surface, and Amazon's Kindle Fire. All these are types of tablets on the market that you can buy. Aside that, we also have computer server. So a server is a computer that serves up information to other computers on a network. We call the other devices or programs as clients. The term most commonly refers to a computer that provides data to other computers. The data may be served to systems on a wide area network or WAN over the internet. Alternatively, it may be served through LAN systems, which stands for local area network. So many businesses also use local file servers to store and share files internally. The network is the internet. So let's look at this diagram. This is the server. Here you are as a client, another client here, another client, and another client up here. We are all looking for some information or the other. So we come online to the internet. I taught you how to search for information on the internet over here for into your search bar and click enter. But it goes. So have you ever thought of where the computer picks the information from to come onto your screen after you've searched for it? So this is where the information is. So the server stores information for other computers to access it. So when you search for instance, you go on Google Chrome and type what is hermat. Okay. So the meaning of hermat will come onto your screen. But where is it coming from? It is stored on a certain server. So when you search for it, the internet will go and pull it from that particular server and now display it for you to see. So a server is also a computer, but the purpose it serves it to store information and provide to other computers as and when they need it. So that is how a server works. So I can say that servers are the lifeblood of any network. They provide the shared resources that the network users need, such as email, web services, databases, file storage, etc. So that is it for servers. Now we move to the other types of computers. So many of today's electronics are basically specialized computers, though we don't always think of them that way. Here are a few common examples. We have the smartphone. In this modern world, majority of people use smartphones, and we are all connected to this course today thanks to smartphones that we have. So with regards to the smartphone, I say that many cell phones can do a lot of things computers can do, including browsing the internet and playing games. So through the connectivity of our smartphones, we can browse the internet, we can type files and save them to our Google Drive. We can search for whatever information that we want to search for on the internet. We can play games. We can really do a lot with smartphones. Smartphones are not just for making outgoing calls and receiving incoming calls. No, that is not it for smartphones. We can do a lot with it. And I'm sure you all know uh, what smartphones can do. because it is evident that you are already doing the things that smartphones can do, and you are going beyond the BBC age of where we used to think that phones are meant for making calls alone. No, you've all gone past that, because through your smartphones, we are all connected today and learning together. So a smartphone is also another type of computer. Aside that, we also have the wearables. Look at this smartwatch here. I'm sure some of us possess smartwatches. So, wearable technology is a general term for a group of devices, including fitness trackers and smartwatches, that are designed to be worn throughout the day. So, with a smartwatch too, we wear it on our hand. Okay, some smartwatches can make calls, they can do WhatsApp and even Facebook. Aside displaying time, they can help you track your fitness, as you some of them are able to track your heartbeat. They are able to track the distance that you have run through, and they can actually do a lot of things. So all those things constitute some type of computers in some ways. We also have the game console. So a game console is a specialized type of computer that is used for playing video games on your TV. So all those things are computers, because you give command and they obey. You tell it to move right, it moves right. Move left, it moves left on the TV for you. So they all constitute some sort of computers in some ways. And then we also have the smart TVs. Many TVs now include applications that let you access various types of online content. For example, you can stream video from the internet directly onto your TV. With Hisense TV can do a lot of things. Okay, you can go to Netflix on your TV, even YouTube. Some can even what's the name? Some of the TVs you can even use it to go on Facebook. Some TVs are touch screens. Okay, instead of using a remote, you can use your finger to scroll it, tap it, and then command what you want it to do, and then it will be done. So all these are computers, not just the desktop. All these form some types of computers. We also have PCs and Macs. So personal computers come in two main styles: PC and Mac. Both are fully functional, but they have a different look and feel, and many people prefer one or the other. So with the PCs, this type of computer began with the original IBM PC that was introduced in 1981, and other companies began creating similar computers, which were called IBM PC compatible, now shortened to PC. So today, this is the most common type of personal computer, and it typically includes the Microsoft Windows operating system. So this is a PC and this is Mac. And so with the Macs, that's the short form of Macintosh. So the Macintosh computer was introduced in 1984, and it was the first widely sold personal computer with a graphical user interface. So all Macs are made by one company, that's Apple, and they almost always use the Mac OS operating system. So what then is the computer operating system? So an operating system is the most important software that runs on a computer. It manages the computer's memory and processes, as well as all of its software and hardware. It also allows you to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language. And so without an operating system, a computer is useless. Okay? If the computer doesn't have the operating system, it cannot do what you want it to do, and therefore it will become useless unless you want your kids to use it to play, where they will be using things to hit it, and then it will be making some sounds for them to be jumping around. Other than that, it is useless. So the operating system's job, what is it? What is the job of the operating system? So your computer's operating system manages all of the software and hardware on the computer. So most of the time, there are several different computer programs running at the same time, and they all need to access your computer's central processing unit, memory, and then the storage. So the operating system coordinates all of this to make sure each program gets what it needs. Okay, so it is the operating system that makes the computer obey our commands. So if you tell the computer, say you want to search for something, without the operating system on the computer, you cannot do that. You want to type, you cannot do it without the operating system. So as indicated earlier, without the operating system, the computer is completely useless. You cannot use it for the purpose that you want it to serve for you. So we have some types of operating systems. So I will say that operating systems usually come preloaded on any computer you buy. So whatever computer that you buy, it comes with the operating system already loaded on it. Most people use the operating system that comes with their computer, but it's possible to upgrade or even change operating systems. The three most common operating systems for personal computers are Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, and then Linux. Modern operating systems use a graphical user interface. So the graphical user interface lets you use your mouse to click on icons, buttons, and menus. And everything is clearly displayed on the screen using a combination of graphics and text. So that is how the operating system for Windows looks like. So when you open your computer, if you are using Windows, be it Windows 10, Windows 7, or whatever version you are using, this is Windows 10 operating system. This is how it looks. I use Windows 10, so this is how it looks. And then the Mac OS also looks like this. So Mac OS, which was previously called OS X, is a line of operating systems created by Apple. It comes preloaded on all Macintosh computers or Macs. Some of the specific versions include Mojave, which was released in 2018, High Sierra in 2017, and then Sierra in 2016. So according to StatCounter Global Stats, Mac OS users account for less than 10% of global operating systems. That's much lower than the percentage of Windows users, which is more than 80%. So one reason for this is that Apple computers tend to be a bit more expensive. However, many people do prefer the look and feel of Mac OS over Windows. So if you have realized, or if you have taken note of the prices of mobile phones, let's use mobile phones for example, you realize that Apple phones, which we usually refer to as iPhones, they are more expensive than the Android phones. So majority of us, we go in for the Android phone, and it also serves a lot of purpose. Okay, though the Apple iPhone is considered a bit higher than the Android phone. I mean, we can manage with the Android phone, and the Android phone can do a lot. Okay, it can do a lot. Sometimes some people feel that because they are not able to afford iPhone, they consider themselves inferior. I mean, why should you feel that way? Even if I have yam, that is what I can afford. So you should not feel inferior because people are saying iPhone this, iPhone that, you don't have it, then you feel bad. I mean, what the iPhone can do, the Android phone can do it. Okay, the iPhone can join this meeting. With your Android phone, you're also here. I am here with my Android phone expensive. So if you cannot afford that one, go in for the other product. Those other products, they are not inferior. Okay, what you can afford is what you use. What you cannot afford, do not make that become a worry for you, because the one that you can afford, it can actually serve the purpose that you want it to serve. You want to make video calls, it can do that. Okay, you want to type fast, let's say Google Docs, all those things, it can do that. So what's the worry? What's the big deal? There's no big deal here. So let's use our Android phones and buy the, what's the name, the Apple iPhone if you want it. Okay, if you want it and you can afford it, you can buy, but don't make it a necessity. No, the Android phone is there and they are much cheaper and they can serve the purpose that we want them to serve. So let's not be worried if we cannot afford Apple iPhone. I mean, it's not a necessity. So the Linux tool is there. Let's say the Linux is a family of open source operating systems, which means they can be modified and distributed by anyone around the world. This is different from proprietary software like Windows, which can only be modified by the company that owns it. The advantage of Linux is that it is free and there are many different distributions or versions you can choose from. So let's also talk about the operating systems for mobile devices. So now, just look at these two images while I go on. So the operating systems we've been talking about so far were designed to run on desktop and laptop computers. Mobile devices such as phones, tablets, computers, and MP3 players are different from desktop and laptop computers. So they run operating systems that are designed specifically for mobile devices. So examples of mobile operating systems include the Apple iOS and Google Android. So let's look at the image here. So this is the operating system running on an iPad. So this is how it looks, and then an Android phone too. So operating systems for mobile devices generally aren't as fully featured as those made for desktop and laptop computers, and they aren't able to run all of the same software. However, you can still do a lot of things with them, like you can watch movies, you can browse the web, you can manage your calendar, play games, you can create spreadsheets and documents, all that with your mobile phone or tablet. So if you don't have a computer, a desktop, or a laptop, do not let that be a worry for you, because most of the things that the laptop or desktop computer can do, your smartphone can also do them. So don't make it be a worry for you where you'll be thinking about it. Hey, others have computers, I don't have it. Why they are able to, I can do it. You can also do all the things that we've been discussing or learning. You can use smartphone to do them. I mean, majority of the digital literacy things that people are cashing out from, mobile phones can do them. And majority of them use mobile phones to do them. So there's no big deal here if you do not have a computer, but you possess smartphone. It can also serve a purpose, be it a YouTube channel that you want to create. You can use your smartphone, TikTok, Facebook, all that. We use smartphones to do that. So don't let it be a big deal if you don't have a computer. What matters is you have a smartphone and it can serve the purpose. So now let's talk about some basic keyboard shortcuts that we should all know if we are using the computer. So if you want to copy something, instead of click and hold, then scroll to copy, you can just type Control C, Control plus C. Okay. You click on Control key and then you go and click on C. then it will be copied. So aside that, you can also cut it. Okay. So instead of clicking on the mouse or pressing and holding the touchpad of your laptop, you can just click Control X and then you cut it. So after copying or cutting, to paste it, we can also use Control plus V. Okay, so with Control V, we can paste it wherever we want to paste it. So if we want to select everything, let's say you are typing something, okay, and you want to copy it, you have to select it before you copy it, right? So to select it, you can either choose to select part of it, but selecting part of the text, you will have to click and hold it and then drag, okay, to cover the part that you want to copy or cut. But if you want to select to copy or cut the entire thing, the entire document that you've typed, if you want to copy or cut everything on it, you can use Control A, and Control A will select everything on the document. So after selecting, then you cut or you copy it and then go and paste. So that is it. If you want to close to, you click Control plus W to close it. And then, okay, select all has appeared twice. Let me jump it. So if you want to switch apps, you can use Alt plus Tab to do that. And also, if you want to bold in text, you can select the text and then you click Control plus B and then it will be bolded. If you have also done something that you want to undo, let's say you have just cut something, okay, or you have deleted something, you are typing on a document, say Word or Sheet or whatever document that you are working on, and you mistakenly delete something, just don't worry. Use these keys, Control plus Z. That particular thing that you deleted or you cut or whatever you did with it that you want it to come back. Using Control Z, it will come back again. So if you mistakenly delete something, don't let it be a worry. Just use Control plus Z and it will come back to where it was before. So this takes us to how to secure our computers. So keeping your computer secure helps you avoid malware and direct hacking attempts designed to steal your personal information. And so here are some ways or tips you can use to reduce your online risk when you use your computer at home. So you should create a strong password. Okay, you need to create a strong password. So to create a strong password, first of all, it should be at least 12 characters long, but 14 or more is better. And then secondly, use a combination of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. So uppercase, in other words, that's capital letters, and lowercase, small letters. And then you add numbers to it, and then some symbols. For example, most of the teachers that were having problems with their NTC portal login, sometimes when we take their data to help them, you see the password is just their phone number. Come on, this can be easy for anyone at all to use to impersonate you. So that is not how to create password. You don't just use your mobile phone number. Anyone at all can guess and get it correct. Some also use their names. No, you don't have to do that way because you are exposing yourself. So number three, the password should not be a word that can be found in a dictionary or the name of a person. No, it shouldn't be like that. Or a character, product, or organization. No, it shouldn't be like that at all. significantly different. Your password should be significantly different from your previous password. Okay, sometimes you create a password. Let's say um you are using, for instance, those that are using their phone numbers as passwords. Okay, for some reason or the other, you disclose it to someone else. Do you still have to continue using that password? You have disclosed it to someone, so it's no longer a password. Okay, even if you trust that person, as you've disclosed it to the person has finished doing the task that you gave it out for the person to use to do for you. After that, you should change it. Okay, you should change it. You shouldn't keep using that one. Okay, so aside that, your password too should be easy for you to remember, but it should be difficult for others to guess. So let's consider using a memorable phrase like what I have done here. Just take a look at it. Okay, so what I've written here, two donkeys are cooking. So if someone wants to hack you, for instance, Madam Lydia, if I want to hack your computer, would I be thinking of something like two donkeys are cooking? I mean, where have we ever seen donkeys cooking? So that would not be something that anyone can guess. Okay, so say something foolish, excuse me to say, your password says something foolish that nobody will be able to guess that this is what will be your password. So we should not continue to use our names as passwords. No, that doesn't help at all, because if you do that, people can easily guess it and get it right, and they can use it to harm you in ways that will be better to you. So after creating a strong password, how do we keep it secured? So once you've created a strong password, let's follow these guidelines to keep it secure. One, don't share your password with anyone. All right? You don't have to share your password with anyone. Like I've indicated earlier, if you're having a challenge that requires you to give a password, change it. Okay, so the next minute the person tries to use the password again, it will not work unless you authorize that person. If you authorize the person to do the thing for you too, you will give her the password, right? So you don't just give your password out like that. You trust that person, no. So if you trust the person to and you give it out, the moment the person finishes executing the task for which you gave the password to that person, just change it to be on the safer side. And the second thing is that never send a password by email, instant message, or any other means of communication that is not reliably secured. So don't do that. Let's stay safe. Okay. And then also use a unique password for each website. So if you are logging into your through your internet banking, let's say you are using two monkeys are cooking for your internet banking. All right. And then for another thing, let's say you are creating a Haptel account, or let's say you are creating an account with Jumia, Kiku, or whatever, and they require your password. Don't go and use two monkeys are cooking there too. Okay, use another term, because if someone gets that two monkeys are cooking or two donkeys are cooking, they will try to use it on all other platforms just to test and see whether you are using the same thing. So if you do not change your password and you are using the same thing all throughout whatever that you are doing on the internet, you use the same password. So it means that when someone gets hold of one of your password, they will use it to try all other platforms. They will use it to try your internet banking, and they will have access. If you are using the same password to her, they'll have access to it. So let's try not to use a single password throughout all our internet activities. That doesn't help at all. And if you don't want to memorize multiple passwords, consider using a password manager. And then it's also okay to write your password down as long as you keep them secure and then change your passwords immediately on accounts you suspect may have been compromised, and also enable multi-factor authentication whenever available. So multi-factor or two-factor authentication is the one that, let's say if you are logging in through email, say those that are teachers, when you are logging into your NTC account for the first time on a new device, say let's say you've been using your phone to log in and now you want to log in on a laptop. The moment you want to log in, you enter your email address and then your password. So they will send a confirmation code to your email, the one that they have. They'll send a code to it confirming that you are the one trying to log into the account. So before you will be able to log in, you need to copy the code from your email, your inbox. Now come and paste it before you are able to log in. And also, some sites too, with the two-factor authentication. Let's say you use your email to log in, but before you can log in with the email, they will send OTP, one time PIN, or is it one time password? That's one time PIN. They will send that to your phone number. So aside taking your email, they also take your phone number. So before you can log in with the email, they will send the code, the one time PIN to your phone. So you will now have to go to your SMS, your messages, copy the code there, the PIN, the one time PIN there, and go and paste it before you will be allowed to log in. So all these things are ways that we can use to protect our online data. So don't get tricked at all into releasing your password. So you can follow these guidelines to protect your passwords and other sensitive information. 1. Please be wary of anyone who is requesting sensitive information from you. Phishers or hackers try using legitimate organizations that you've interacted with in the past. They try copying or mimicking them. Okay, so they can create a website that looks similar to theirs. Sometimes they even go as far as using their logos, and then they will trick you and request for sensitive information from you. They will embed links in an email asking you to verify your information, where you'll be deceived to enter all those things, your email, your password, and they will use that to deal with you in a way that you wouldn't like. Okay, and then never share your password in response to an email or phone call. No, on our platforms, the platforms created by global life changes. You see, sometimes some people will be calling you that they are administrators for global life changes page. They are changing some things, so they have sent a code to you, so you should send it to them. So some people have fallen victim to that. And there was a time a certain woman called me that they called her like that, that they are from Global Life Changes. So they have sent some code to her. She should give it to them. And she did, and they took 350 cedis from her. So let's not fall victims to that, because it is not necessary for you to share your password in response to an email or a phone call. I will not call you to say, give me your password. And nobody will call you to do that. So anybody that calls you to say you should give your password without you having requested for help from that person, say you are having a challenge logging into your account to do something, then you want help, then you are just there and someone calls you that, give me your password to do this or that, then you send it. I mean, how? So we should stay away from such things, because there are ways that scammers use to trick us into giving certain sensitive information to them, which they use to harm or hijack our accounts. Okay, I'm sure you may have come across a friend of yours whose Facebook account has been hacked. That is how they do it. They send a code and request for it, then you give it out. Now they now take over your Facebook account, and they will be using your personal details to dupe people. For instance, if you are there and I send you a message that I'm in an emergency situation and I need say 50 CD to save myself. You'll be like, oh, this is Madam Hemat from Global Life Changes. She cannot dupe me. Then you give the money out, thinking that you are giving it to me to help me, but I'm not the one. Okay, so that is how it happens, and we all need to be wary of it and stay safe. Also, always access websites using trusted links. I told you that whenever you are accessing a website, look at the address bar. You should find a padlock symbol there. Okay. There are also some legitimate website that doesn't have the padlock symbols there because they have not acquired the secure socket layer certificate. Okay. So because of that, because of those legitimate websites that have not acquired the secure socket layer certificate, hackers or phishers are using that as an advantage to dupe people, because you visit a legitimate website which does not have that padlock, and then another official also creates a website, it doesn't have that padlock. So because you visited uh, this particular website, which is for a legitimate institution that you know and it does not have it, you would think that all other websites that their URL goes without having the padlock symbol are also legitimate. And then you go, you put your information there, there is no security, anybody else intercepts it, and then they use it to harm you. So after taking this course, you should be able to identify a phishing link. Whenever you are visiting any website, you should be wary of how the link looks. You should take note to be sure that there is a padlock symbol up there on the address bar. You should look for it, because if it is not there, even if the organization is a legitimate one, whatever information you share there is not secured, and anybody at all can intercept it on the way and use it to harm you. So let this course be an eye opener for you so that in the future you don't get duped or get hacked or tricked into revealing sensitive information that will be used against you. So let's stay safe. Microsoft Office is a suite of applications designed to help with productivity and completing common tasks on a computer. So you can create and edit documents containing text and images. You can work with data in spreadsheets and databases, and you can create presentations. Has been the leading office suite for home students, over 1.5 billion users worldwide, which makes Microsoft the dominant force in powerful business suites. Microsoft Office features a set of flagship products designed to make your work easier and more professional. These flagship products include Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, OneNote, and Outlook. These applications empower business users, students, and home users to experience a boost in productivity and the ability to get more done in the most efficient way possible. Microsoft Office is available for PC and for Mac users. So these are the Microsoft Office skills that recruiters usually look out for. First, you should be able to use Microsoft Word, and you should be able to also use Excel. So Microsoft Word is a text processing application. It allows the user to configure the attributes of a document, such as layout and the styles of content, and to add their content in a variety of ways and formats to produce documents. So recruiters usually look out for these skills when they are looking for people to employ in this modern era. And they also look out for the potential candidate to have knowledge in using Microsoft Excel. So the Microsoft Excel tool is an application used for creating and editing spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are commonly used for working with sets of data containing text and numbers and for generating graphs and charts, and also Microsoft PowerPoint. So Microsoft PowerPoint too, as Madam Lydia indicated, it is used for presentation. And so PowerPoint is commonly used to create presentation using slides. Though often used to make simple bullet-pointed presentations, it has a range of features that can allow a range of media in your presentation. So this presentation that I'm sharing with you, I created it with Google Slides, but Microsoft Office can also do the same thing. So when recruiting, um, the recruiters usually look out for these particular skills. So you should take note of that. And after this course, if you are not already using them, let's try to practice how to use them. They are very easy to use, and I'll also show you where to find them to download. And then Microsoft Outlook tool, you can use it to send emails and then manage communication. Then we also have the important office skills in the workplace. So at the workplace, you should be able to create and format documents. You should be able to present data through tables, graphs, and charts. You should be able to execute formulas. The other time I taught you how to use some basic formulas like addition, counting, and the likes. In future, I'm going to go deeper into that with you. You should also be able to deliver attractive and informative presentations. You should be able to use proofreading and editing tools. You should be able to insert multimedia elements like images. You can see that Global Life Changes logo is here, and throughout my presentations, I show you graphical representations of examples that I want you to take note of. You should be able to do all those things. And you should be able to use task delegation and assignment. You should be able to delegate task and assignment on Outlook. And you should also be able to integrate calendars and schedules and do printing. If you don't know how to do printing, don't worry. Once you are able to create the file and the printer is there, it is very simple to do. In the office, there are other people that can help you to do that. So don't worry at all. What matters is you learning how to create the document. Once it is created, the printing is not a big deal at all. So first of all, you should know how to create it. And like I said last week, Microsoft Office is it's not there's not much difference in Office and then the Google products that I showed you the other time that we met. Okay, these are the versions of Microsoft Office, but I don't really use Microsoft Office, though I have it. What I use is Microsoft Office 2016. I use the 2016 version. I use it because sometimes people send me documents that are in Microsoft Office, Excel. I mean the Microsoft Excel or Word format or PowerPoint, which I need to open. Without it, I cannot open it. So I have it installed on my computer, but I don't really use it much because I need to be able to collaborate easily, and I don't need to pay for it to be able to collaborate, and also want to have access to my documents anywhere, anytime. I don't want to carry around what's the name, pen drive. Okay, I can misplace it. So that is the reason I choose to use Google products. Like I use this presentation, I use Google Slides, which I taught you about the other time. I use Google Slide to create it. So when I'm traveling, I don't need to carry a pen drive with my what's the name with my presentation on it. I can misplace it. All right. So I go in for Google Slides. Okay. So I create my presentation with the Google Slides. All right. And I don't need to download the presentation before Mr. Zieche can look at it. I don't need to download and send to him on WhatsApp, email, or whatever. I just share it. The other time I taught you how to share documents, be it Google Docs, Google Form, spreadsheet, or even the slide. So I just invite him. So he will sit at his home. I also be in my home, and then we go through it together. Okay, anywhere I am, anytime, any day, I can access it. Even with my phone, this presentation, I can access it with my phone anywhere, anytime. I don't need to carry pen drive around. Okay, so that is the reason I prefer to use Google Suite rather than Microsoft Office Suite. So that is it for easy collaboration. Okay, for cost, I don't want to pay to be able to collaborate with my team. All right, and if you want to collaborate free of charge, use the Google Suite, the G Suite. That one, there is some cost components if you want to use certain parts. For instance, if you want to use Google Workspace, okay, to be able to record this meeting, we needed to pay, okay, for Google Workspace account, which is paid in dollars. So every month we pay close to $100 to be able to record this video and store it in the cloud for you to have access to it when they need be. So without paying, we cannot record this video. But all other things, if if not for the purpose of recording this video, there wouldn't have been the need for us to go in for the premium plan of what's the name, Google Workspace. All right. So with the premium plan too, that is the reason I am able to mute you, to stop you from interrupting the meeting. So the host can mute you. The host can decide what you can do and what you cannot do. All right. But to use Google Docs, Google Sheets, PowerPoint, and all those things, they are free. Okay, you can use them free of charge. You can collaborate with anyone, you can share it with anyone. They make changes, you see, you also make changes, they also see, without paying for it. That is the reason I prefer Google Suite. Other than that, Microsoft is also good. But to be able to collaborate without downloading and sharing back and forth, you have to pay, which is what I don't want to go in for, because living in Ghana now is now costly, and everyone is looking for a way to cut cost. All right, to be able to manage our finances, to take care of our families. So we need to go in for what is easy for us to use, which is the Google Suite, which is free to use, unless you want to go for the Google Workspace, which includes certain aspects that gives you full control over your meetings. That's the Google Meet. If you want to have full control, that one you need to pay. Other than that, you see, with what is the name? With Zoom, if you are having a meeting, okay, with more than two people, every 40 minutes, the meeting will end and you have to start again. Unless you pay for the premium version, every 40 minutes. For instance, this meeting, for instance, if we were using Zoom, every 40 minutes, if for the free version, every 40 minutes, the meeting will end and we will all have to struggle to come online again. But if you don't want that, you have to pay for it. Okay, but with Google Meet, if not for the recording component, we can talk, we can have our meeting, we can have about 100 people on board, okay, free of charge. Any number of minutes that we want to stay, it is free of charge. All right, unless you want to record. If you want to record, then you go in for the premium version. So for me, that is the reason why I prefer to use Google products. Other than that, Microsoft is also good for you, and most institutions, they use it. Okay, so you need to learn it. Even if you don't want to use it, you need to learn how to use it. So where can we find and download Microsoft Office? So you can find it in the Microsoft App Store. You can also go to getintopc.com. I have put space in between so that you'll be able to read it. So getintopc.com. But when you are going to the site, you type it together, all together, no space, getintopc.com like this. And this is the URL. All right. So let's go there and see what's there. Okay. So we are there at getintopc.com. So when you type the getintopc.com and click on enter, so this is where it will take you to. All right. Bar here and type Microsoft Office. It has displayed about 92 results of that. So here are the products. You can download. This is Microsoft Office 2013. Okay, if you want to download it, you can click on it and it will be downloaded. I use Microsoft Office 2016. That's the version I'm currently using. So you can also download it. These are free. Okay, these ones are free. 2013, 2016. So when you want, if you don't have it already and you want to download it, you go to getintopc.com and type Microsoft Office, and the options will be displayed for you to download. Okay, they all have what's the name? The Word component, Excel, PowerPoint. You can find them on all the versions. They are there for you. So that is it with the Microsoft tool. So let me go back to the presentation slide. In summary, we have learned that a computer is an electronic device for sharing and processing data. Okay. We also learned that the elements that make a computer system work are categorized into two groups, which include the hardware, that is the keyboard, the mouse, the monitor, and what have you. Those are the hardware. And then the software to include the operating system and the applications. And we also learned that the operating system is the interface between a computer user and the computer hardware that enables the applications to interact with the computer's hardware. So we mentioned that the examples of operating systems include Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, and then Linux. And we also said that the operating system for mobile devices include Google Android and Apple iOS. We also mentioned a bit about Microsoft Office products, including Word and Excel. So that is what we've learned for the day. It is still not 6 p.m. yet. Microsoft Office, the Excel, and then Excel and Google Sheets, there is no much difference. And then Microsoft Word and Google Docs, there is no much difference. So unless you want me to open and do a practical presentation for you to see, I would like to end my session here.
Okay, I'm getting the comments. Great presentation. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Patricia. We're grateful. All these feedbacks are good. Yes.
So I want to find out if you have two different computers which are not having the same operating system. Can you share a document?
All right. So let's say I'm using Windows. All right. And we are
Yes.
using Mac OS, but we are
Yes.
all working in the same office, okay? Or we are not even working in the same office, all right? But there is a document I'm working on, which is Google Sheets. I'm working on a Google spreadsheet, and I want us to collaborate to get the task done. Once I share it with you, it does not matter the device that you are accessing it from, whether it is a mobile phone, a laptop, whether the phone was manufactured by Global Life Changers or whether it was manufactured by uh, Madam Sita Niemotu, it doesn't matter. Once I share the once I share with your email address, you can access it from any device, be it from an Apple device or Microsoft Windows. It doesn't matter at all. We can collaborate. The device you use, the operating system, the application, the whatever, it doesn't matter. We can all collaborate. Thank you. I hope it's clear.
Yeah, I think Abraham, that question was a brilliant one, of course, and well articulated and well answered by our able facilitator. It's just like the internet is a global marketplace. It doesn't matter. The market is open to the whites, the blacks, the Chinese, and then the it's just like that. That's what, in effect, that's what our administrators just saying. So
Yes.
and then so it doesn't really matter. Once you take everything to the market, anybody who is in the market will find what you have, whether the person is who is in the market, depending on regardless of the person's origin, will find what you have.
Sir James,
Yes.
since they have asked that I continue, I want to share something regarding sending emails. Last week, somebody asked me to teach her how to send email. So let me just touch a bit on that. Since my
All right.
Windows screen
Great
is
one.
able to. Okay,
Okay, move on.
right, I will. So this is my personal inbox, misshermat@gmail.com. So if I want to send an email, so I come here, compose, all right. This is my email signature. Let me clear it. This is where you type the recipient's address. Okay, so let's say we want to send an email to Mr. James Deche. So his email is, say, James, can you give me your email? James Deche. All right, it's already in my address. So I select it. So now the person I want to send to is James Deche. However, I can also add more people, whether I want to add it so that they all see that I've shared the message with these people or not. So if I want to send a copy to another person and allow Mr. Ziete to see that I have given the same message to another person, so I'll go for the carbon copy, which is the CC. Okay, so carbon copy. Now, if I don't want Mr. Zieche to be able to see that I have sent the message I sent to him, I have also sent it to the IT department, I'll go in for the BCC, blind carbon copy. Or let's say, want me to see that I sent the same message to the IT department. I don't want the person to know that the message he or she has received, other people have also received it. So I'll go and add the blind carbon copy. So say blind carbon copy info@globallifechanges.org. Good. So when that is done, these people, Mr. Zieche and IT department, Mr. Zieche will be able to see that I have sent the message to, what's the name? IT department. And IT department will also see that I've sent it to Mr. Zieche. But this person here, info@global life changes, will not be able to see that I have sent to this person and that. This person will not. Global life changes, info@global life changes will not be able to detect that the message has not been sent to him or her alone. All right. So that is how it is. If you are sending an email to someone and you want the same thing to go to another person without the person knowing that the same message has been shared with somebody else. So you go in for the blind carbon copy. So it will go to the person without leaving any trace of it being sent to another person. And so for the top two emails here, Mr. Zieche and then the IT department, whatever reply that come, okay, both of them will be able to see it. So if we are sending the message to, let's say I am the one sending it, misshermat@gmail.com. I'm the one sending it to Mr. Zieche and then IT department. And I don't want the administrator at Global Life Changes who manages the info at Global Life Changes account. I don't want him or her to see. Okay. So the moment I send the message, Any other reply that comes, Mr. Zieche will see it. Okay. The IT department will also see it, but this person will not see it. The person on the blind carbon copy side, he will not be able to see it. And so another person also asked me, the person said that she's trying to send an email, but it is not going. Okay, that the email is not going. I was wondering, how come? How is it that the email is not going? But when I collected the person's phone and checked, I realized that instead of putting the email here, the person went and put it here. Okay, without putting indicating the primary recipient, the person went and put the address on the carbon copy side. Okay, so when you do that, it will not go. Every time you try to send, the message will not go. There has to be a primary recipient before you can add either a carbon copy or a blind carbon copy. And after that, you have to add a subject. Okay, the message you are sending, what is it about? So that just at a glance, the person will have an idea of what the message talks about. So say I am sending you your certificate of participation in this particular course. So I will put the subject, certificate of participation on digital literacy and social media utilization. So that will be my heading, sorry, my subject. That is what the body of the message will talk about. Okay. Then you will now come here. Hi, Lydia. That is if you want to go informal. Hi, Lydia. Sorry. Hi, Rahim. Hi, Mr. Mohammed. Or you can go with Dear Sir, Dear Rahim, Dear Lydia, Dear Faustina, Dear Sita, and what have you. And then after you have typed the message, let me just go and find something to come and paste here. Good. So the body of the message. So it talks about operating system for other devices. Now let me get a subject. So the subject is operating systems for mobile devices. So I want to make it bold. So I click on this B and now come, Dear James. So now in this message, I want to add a link. Before that, let me unbolding this. I said that if you want to make something bold, you want to make it stand out. Okay, you use this capital B here to bolden it, the control B that we spoke about. So I want to bolden this. I go in for, I click and highlight it, then I come here to make it bold. Okay, so in this email tool, I want to attach a link. Okay, so to attach a link to an email, so you come here, you see this button here. So let's say I want to turn this into a link. Okay, Google Android. So I highlight it and then I come to here. So you see this icon, right? So I click on it, it will open. And then I go and get the link. So I want to lead you into getintopc.com, Microsoft Office suite. So I come and paste the link here. So before sending it, you can test it to see if it works. Okay. So you can click here to test it. Good. It has taken me to the same page, the getintopc.com. So I wouldn't be sharing that up. So I click OK. So you see that Google Android has now turned into link. So this is how to embed a link in an email. I hope it's clear. So you want to embed, you want to put a link in the email, but you do not want to paste that plenty link. Some links can be extra plenty. Okay. Some links can be like 2 lines. You don't want to paste that in the email to occupy space. So you embed the link into the writing. So you select a word and then you put the link inside of it. So this is how to do it. I hope it's clear and then you understand it. So now we also want to attach files to this email. So if it's a Google Drive file, you use this file. So you can also use this side to attach a file. So once you click on it, it will take you to your PC. So I have selected a document, and here it is, certificate in entrepreneurship, add email signature. And then you can also use this to um, make the email confidential. With WhatsApp, you can decide when the message should be deleted. Okay, you can set the time. Let's say every 24 hours, the message you sent, it will be cleared. So this one too can be done like that. So because this is a laptop version, it comes like this, but with a phone, you use the three dots on the upper right corner. So when I click on this, I'll be able to to decide the number of days that the email should stay in the person's inbox. So today is 1st October. I can decide that it should stay there for 1 week or even 1 day. Then the message will expire. When it expires, it will vanish. The person will no longer find it in his or her inbox records. And then click save. Good. So in 24 hours time, the message will expire. So look at it here. So content expires October 2. So 2nd October, which is tomorrow, this message will expire and recipients won't have the option to forward, copy, print, or download this email. Good. And then you can also align the text. So you can align it, either you want it to be centered. This is left align, center align, and then right align. So I want it's already left aligned. So let me center it. So you see how it is with the center align. Good. You can also add bullet points. Say I want to talk about I want to add some list. So I can use the bullet. So iPhone, the second bullet, Android phone, good in that order. You can also decide the fonts that you want to use. It's already set, so I'll be stopping soon. So this is sans serif. So I can change it to uh, what do I want? I can change it to Georgia. So italic. Okay, I can make it look slanted. That too, you use this I. And if you want to underline something, let's say I want to underline mobile devices. So you use this U and it has been underlined. If I want to add color, I can change it to pink or whatever color I want. How it works. Any question, please? Any question? You can also send reactions like this you do on WhatsApp. You can do that too on the email. So I want to send heart eyes. There it is. All right. Any question?
I'm just enjoying the sending email and all what it contains. We have underestimated what an email sending can be, but it's a great exposure to me. Thank you.
Yes, James, I
Yes.
want to find out at the recipient address in the email. Can you use comments on the same line? Probably two different emails on the same line, or you might have to use a carbon copy.
Okay, so if you want to send it to two people, for instance, I want to send you the course notes. Okay, you are all together, you study it together, so I don't need to hide something from any other person. So I can just your emails are all together on one document, so I can just go and copy and come and paste here. All of you will be the primary recipients. I can paste all there. So with the primary recipient alone, you can add as much as you want. If you want to go to the carbon copy too, you don't need to put any comma. The moment you put a valid email here, you see this times sign. Good. The
Yeah.
moment the email is a valid one, it will move. Okay,
Okay.
it will move to another line for you to add another email. You don't need to add a comma or full stop there. Okay, so the
Okay.
writing part will move to another space for you to add a new email. So you don't need to put comma, put full stop or whatever. It's not required.
Yes, I want to know, like WhatsApp, when you send a message that you don't want the person to maybe a mistake or want you don't want him to see or her to see, you delete. In email, can you do that also? Delete all and then the person may not have access.
Good, I get your question, but that is not done. Okay, um, you can undo it within few seconds after sending it. So you realize that the moment you send the message, a button will come, message sent, undo, okay, and it will stay for about 3 to 5 seconds.
And thank you everyone for coming. We are grateful to God. We are grateful to our facilitator and all of you, the distinguished participants. God bless you. Good night and stay blessed.